Hope lives always. And there's nothing wrong with reminding ourselves of that. Reminding ourselves that we can see love, that we can see God, even when we are struggling. I used to work with a lot of people who would go on mission trips. I was a minister of missions. That was my title. And so every time people from the church and from different places would travel around the country or the community or the world to go and do good work and share love to other people and share Christ's love to other people, they would come back and I would take them to lunch and I would ask them questions about what they did. But all of those questions really were just a precursor to the only real question I really wanted to ask, which is, where'd you see God? You went there because you believed God sent you there. Where did you see God that you weren't expecting God? Where did you recognize God's hope where you were? A lot of times I'd ask that question and people had never really thought about it before. And that was the moment where they would go silent. They'd rather talk about what food they ate or what the bathroom situation was like, where they stayed. But where they saw God, the whole point wasn't something that they had processed yet. And so I get to watch them process that. I can't tell you how many people went all the way to go and do this work because they believed that God sent them. And it wasn't until I asked that question and they really had to think about it that they remembered and realized why. Why they were sent, why they were called to care, and where God was indeed moving and present in that experience. When I've led mission trips, I have made this a daily experience while we are going to serve, while we're doing disaster relief, where every day we have to sit down, each person individually, and think about where we have seen God. And you may have noticed some little Post-its falling down behind me. I put a few up because I started writing down today where I've seen God, where I've seen hope in the midst of what we're dealing with now. And it's because on these mission trips, I would get these students to write those things down on little Post-it notes and put them all up, all around. And every day there'd be more and more and more. And you can think, if I took a trip with 80 people and they all wrote one or two of these every day where they saw God, by the time we finished, it is a virtual Post-it tapestry of God's presence in their life. And maybe that's what would be helpful to you today. I don't often give suggestions of things that we are called to do right now. I think we're getting enough suggestions from every direction. But maybe one thing we can do if you're having trouble seeing God and having trouble finding hope in the midst of all manner of struggle right now, that maybe when you do see those things, to write them down on one of these little sticky pieces of paper and to just start putting them somewhere. And it's only going to take a matter of time before that wall is larger than you thought. And it makes you realize that so too is God. Because hope